Did you hear that? Hey y'all, it's Care. I have been on such a thriller kick recently. If you watch any of my recent videos, I feel like they've all been thriller centric. I just can't stop reading them right now, and I have a lot of 5-star predictions that are thriller books at the moment, which is super rare for me. Even though I would really consider thriller books to be my favorite book genre, I just feel like it's super rare for me to give out 5 stars to thrillers, and I don't know, that's like a mental block I've got in my own mind that I need to work through at some point. But actually I've got a whole stack here of books I think I'm really going to love, but I need your help because one, I want you guys to pick what I kind of read next, and then I can explain this way better. Let me start over. I'm going to list 10 thriller books that I'm really excited to read soon, and then you are going to comment down below in the comment section and let me know your vote of which book or books, I mean, I don't care, there are no rules here, you can list a couple if you want to, but books you'd be really interested to see me read in an upcoming reading vlog. Out of these 10 books, I'll probably pick about 4 of them to read all in one vlog that is like a 5-star thriller predictions video, and the books I read in that video will come from your votes from this video. I think we're all on the same page here. Let's just get into it. This should be pretty short if I can just shut up. We're gonna start things off with talking about Fierce Kingdom by Jen Phillips. I'm taking this as a huge recommendation from my friend Amy Myers, who has a wonderful YouTube channel. You guys should go check her out. I will link it in the description here. But this book actually takes place over the course of 3 hours, and she recommended it in a fast-paced book recommendations video, and I'm all about a fast-paced book, and I also am all about a single setting in one book. The book starts with a mom who's taken her young son to the zoo, and then as they're leaving the zoo, something happens where she feels like she needs to protect her son, and they have to run back into the zoo and go into hiding. And I don't know, I've not been spoiled at all for what this is about, but I'm assuming it's a dangerous situation for this mother-son duo, and they have to fight for survival. So I think there's gonna be a lot of commentary about motherhood going on here and like how far this woman is willing to go to protect her child. It's a pretty short book, you guys. If you wanna like do me a solid and like want me to read this in a vlog, it'd be really easy to read because it is so short, and apparently it's fast-paced. I'm really excited about it, but I just feel like I never hear anyone talking about it. So I would be really interested to see if you're interested to hear my thoughts soon. Next, let's talk about Survive the Night. I feel like a bunch of you guys are gonna want me to do this one, which is completely fine with me because I have already started this book, and here's something really interesting. Riley Sager is probably my favorite thriller author. I really enjoy his writing, even though I've never given a Riley Sager book a full 5 stars. I would still consider him like a master of the genre at this point. Those are bold words, please don't come for me there. Master of the genre might have been taking it too far, but he definitely is a huge staple in the book community right now. And Survive the Night is supposed to be another fast-paced book. It's about these 2 college students, a man and a woman, who are both traveling home, I think it's around Thanksgiving time, and the young woman is hitching a ride with this guy, but apparently there's this like campus serial killer that had been lurking around, and now that she's in the car with him, she starts to doubt like whether or not she can trust him, and that's really all I know. Again, I like to not know too much going into a lot of these books, but here's the thing. I have read the first 40-50 pages, and I am not loving it so far, which is so weird to say because this is my #1 most highly anticipated book of the year, but something about it is like, it's a weird start for me. I don't know, you guys, but its redeeming quality is that I just had 3 friends finish this book, and all 3 of them either rated it 5 stars or have said that it's like their new favorite Riley Sager. So I trust them with all of my heart, and I know that we all can have different opinions, but I am now hoping this is gonna be 5 stars for me too. Here's to wishful thinking. Let me know if you want me to read this one in a vlog. The next 5-star prediction is called How to Kill Your Best Friend by Lexi Elliott. I do have an arc of this book that I got back in like February, and I forgot about this book. That's why my NetGalley score is so low. But I did get an email this week where the publishers were like, hey girl, are you gonna like maybe read this before the book comes out next month? I was like, oh yeah. So I need to read this book before August 17th anyway. So it'd be nice to be able to read it for a vlog, I'm just saying. But this truly sounds like it's going to be exactly what I'm looking for in a thriller because it is an isolated setting set on like this island resort, and there's also a big storm. that's like the trifecta for me. I couldn't ask for anything more in a thriller. And it's also about this group of friends who used to be friends and they were all swimmers in college, but then the most talented swimmer out of all of them has mysteriously drowned, and now they've all gathered on this island to attend her funeral, and then they all kind of start suspecting each other of maybe being responsible for the woman who died's death. How do I say that? They start to suspect that a killer is amongst them, and then a big storm hits and they can't go anywhere. Sounds perfect, and I have just been saying that I've been looking for more isolated books that aren't the snow. I do love a snowy isolated setting, but I've been looking for the beach vibes too, and I think this is gonna really deliver. Next, we absolutely have to talk about the plot. I am obsessed with the idea for this book. I'm obsessed with the plot of the plot. It sounds so good. It's about this teacher-student dynamic where this young guy has this brilliant idea for a book. I think he might be in an MFA program. I could be wrong, but this kid has a really good plot idea for a book, but then he dies before he can ever write his book, and so the teacher kind of swoops in there and is like, ooh, I'm the only person who knew about this plot, and I'm such a talented writer who has just never been able to get my feet under me in like finding something I really want to write about. So of course you already know he's gonna take this guy's plot, since the guy's dead, and it's gonna come back to bite him somehow. I love things about writers, and I love things where like my stomach is all clenched, where I know that someone is going to be doing something bad and they might be an unlikable character, but I still don't want them to get caught. I'm hoping that that's gonna be what this book gives to me, and I really have only seen Gabby from Gabby Reads talk about this, but she said it's one of her favorites of the year so far, and I really usually love all of her recommendations, so this is one I'm gonna get to really soon, regardless of the results of whatever this video is. Next, I've got to mention Ace of Spades. I am actually currently listening to this audiobook, but I've just started it. I'm not super far into it at all. But just right from the beginning, it sucked me in. And this is a YA thriller, which historically haven't gone great for me, not gonna lie there. But I really am enjoying the writing of this book. We have a little bit of a dark academia setting going on here. The book takes place at this, it's either like a boarding school or a private school. I'm not completely sure. I'm leaning more towards private school though, that is mostly white. There are really only 2 black students who attend this school. And then at the beginning of the book, the 2 black students who are attending the school start to get, I don't even want to say blackmailed, but like they just start getting their secrets outed by this Gossip Girl-esque character. Someone's sending out mass text messages to the student body revealing these kids' secrets, and they're really bad. Like, not bad like in a negative way, but like they are really harmful to the students. Like, it's just some really bad stuff going down in these messages. I've seen nothing but positive reviews for Ace of Spades so far, so that's kind of also why I have high hopes for it, and that's why it's another 5-star prediction for me. Let's go ahead and move on to Out by Natsuo Kurino. I'm currently reading something by this author called Real World, and I've fallen in love with the writing style. This is another Japanese thriller, and those have just really been my thing recently, but you have to hear what this book is about. It's about this woman who strangles her husband who is abusive to her. Did you just see that lightning? Anyway, she enlists the help of her female co-workers to help dispose of his body, but then things start to spiral out of control. I love that, but I know it's not for a lot of people, like that stress, but I really like the stress and the tension that that creates in a book and in a story. But once things start unraveling, they begin to expose the violent underbelly of Japanese society, and I think it's gonna be like just a whole bigger picture. And it sounds so good, and I'm really interested in reading this as soon as possible. Next, we have The Push by Ashley Audrain, and this is on here because y'all love it. Every time I mention The Push, I get so many comments like, oh my gosh, I loved The Push. Like, that's one of my favorite books of the year so far, so I couldn't make this video without adding this, even though it doesn't sound like something necessarily that would typically be a 5-star prediction for me. Because you guys are loving it so much, I'm throwing it on here, so let me know if you want me to read it. I've actually heard that this isn't as much a thriller as it is just a psychological drama, but it's about this woman who has a daughter, but then she doesn't feel that mother-daughter connection and bond that she thinks that she needs to have with her daughter. She thinks something might be wrong with her, and she just doesn't act like other children, so we've got that creepy kid thing going on, and I think we're just gonna explore, is that actually the case, or is there something going on with the mom? It sounds really interesting. But I don't know about this one. Ooh, okay. Next, I definitely think this might be 5 stars. Before She Knew Him by Peter Swanson. I absolutely loved The Kind Worth Killing earlier this year. I don't think I gave it 5 stars. I think it was like a 4.5. But after I read that book, I made some type of bold claim that I want to go back and read all of Peter Swanson's books. And a lot of people said actually a lot of them are not as good as The Kind Worth Killing and Before She Knew Him. So I'm really excited to read this one next because I've heard it's super twisty. This is about a young couple who moves to a new town, and when they get there, the wife thinks that her neighbor might be a killer because she sees something in an office that is tied to a true crime case that she's been obsessed with. And from there, I think there's some paranoia stuff going on. It's supposed to be like another psychological thriller. The only thing I'm worried about though with this one is that like in the dust jacket, it says, could her neighbor Matthew be a killer? Or is this the beginning of another psychotic episode like the one she suffered in college? So, I don't know. We're gonna have an unreliable narrator. Obviously, that's not a spoiler. That's, I guess, how the book is set up because it's just right there on the dust jacket. So I don't know. Sometimes I like that in a book, but I feel like it got overused a little bit. Or maybe not overused, but I just consumed a lot of thrillers that had that twist within the past few years. So I don't know. I really want to see Swanson's take on it. It's still a 5-star prediction, but I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Next, I have to mention Razer Blade Tears, and I have this book. I just don't have it with me at the moment. This is for sure a 5-star prediction. It's about this gay couple who was murdered, and then each of their fathers team up to go and get revenge for their deaths. And I think it's gonna be really sad. I think this is gonna be a really emotional read. Probably some real soul-searching moments for those parents. But I've also heard that this is gonna be really bloody, gory, and just action-packed. This is the same author as Blacktop Wasteland, which I'm super interested in reading as well. But when I saw Razor Blade Tears as last month's Book of the Month pick, I just decided to go ahead and grab it. And I actually saw where the audiobook is on Scribd, so I might try out the audiobook because I feel like someone recently said that they really liked that narration. I don't think I dreamed that, but like I think someone said they liked the audiobook, so I might give it a try. Last but not least, let me grab it, sorry. This one is a stretch because it is a horror book and I've also already read it. It's The Shining by Stephen King. But hear me out, I've been wanting to reread this for so long because the first time I read it, it was over 10 years ago. I was in high school, like early in high school, and it was when I got my first Nook, which is like a Kindle. If you didn't know, it's like the Barnes & Noble version of a Kindle. I had one of those, and I went through this phase where I read a bunch of Stephen King, and I don't remember any of it. Like, I just don't remember anything I read when I had that Kindle. But then I rewatched The Shining movie recently, and I know that the book and the movie are different, but I just realized that I didn't remember anything, and I think that I would really enjoy rereading this as an adult now. I don't know. But I am throwing it on here because I'd been considering just doing an entire reading vlog all about The Shining just by itself. But I don't know if I want to commit to doing that. I don't know if there's like enough of an audience who wants to see that, so I'm throwing it in this 5-star prediction lottery, is that what I should call it? Just to kind of gauge interest. I think it'd be really fun to read this in a 5-star thriller predictions video because I know that this is horror, but Stephen King is so mainstream that I feel like it'd be fine to mix it in with the thriller books. Let me know what you think. I'm so sorry, just in case you didn't know, The Shining is about this family who has to move out to this remote hotel out in the middle of nowhere, and it's all snowy and they don't have access to people that they need to talk to if things go wrong. Spoiler alert, things go wrong. And yeah, it's a haunted hotel, okay? That is it for the predictions, so let me know please in the comments if you read any of these and if you liked them and if you think I would enjoy them, or maybe if you're like thinking you might want to read something but want me to test it out for you? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Let me know. I really love chatting with you guys, and thank you so much for all of your other recommendations. I feel like I've been getting so many personalized book recs from viewers recently, and I really appreciate that, because I know that like when I watch booktubers and I start to know what their taste is, I will literally be reading a book sometimes and think, oh my gosh, so and so would absolutely love this based on what they already like. So it just like, it warms my heart to think that people are out there thinking, oh, I bet Caroline would like this. I don't know, that is so sweet to me. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I hope you have a great week this week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.